morning, y'all. Holy shit, have I had a fun morning. Okay, so let me just give you the rundown. So, sorry, I'm getting loaded, obviously. Per usual, there are like not enough trailers for the number of drivers that need trailers where I work, which is a really fucking annoying problem. And side note, constantly, every time I hear a story, like I just heard a whole NPR story about how they're doing training programs in high schools for CDL because of the shortage of drivers, which I have mixed feelings about, but that's another story. And it's like, okay, we don't have enough drivers, but then I also am hearing from my dispatch that we don't have enough freight and we don't have trailers a lot of the time, which I know is not that we literally don't have enough freight in existence and that we don't have enough trailers in existence. It's the way that things are set up. It just fucks the drivers. The drivers are the ones that get screwed the most. And I am that driver that is getting screwed today because I was assigned, I already knew, and now I've gotten enough experience to know. So I was coming back from home time, which is not a good time to have to get a trailer from our yard, because the only way I would be able to find an empty, if I'm lucky, and all the other drivers didn't beat me to it, is if I looked and found an empty the night before and got my tractor in front of it, or even hooked up to it the night before. That's what all the other drivers do. So if they're working the day before, they get back to the yard, they hook up to that trailer for the next day, and then in the morning they just go. All those trailers get claimed. So when I looked at our app and it shows this little map of where the empty trailers are, well, one of them was in a service bay, clearly. One of them, I already could look out my window and see that someone was sitting in front of it, and another one was like in the fuel island. So I'm like, okay, so none of these trailers is actually available. So I told my dispatch this morning before I even started my clock, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need to go somewhere else to get a trailer, which is so frustrating because you're already at the home base and there's no empties. It's not the first time that's happened. It's like a frequent fucking problem. So they send me to this place that I knew. I am filming in the same place in the city that I filmed at before. I talked about. It's off of Pulaski in Chicago. When I say the city, it's like, I mean Chicago as if it's the only city. The place I had to go to pick up a trailer, the woman who I had to deal with at the desk was the rudest person I have dealt with yet. I couldn't fucking believe it. I went up to the window and she's sitting off to the side of the window and I didn't see her right away, so I'm just standing there waiting, kind of trying to be patient. And then I look around and I see her and I'm like, oh, hi. And she goes, doesn't look up, just keeps looking straight ahead and just puts her finger up at me like I'm a kid or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I tell her the trailer number I have for the empty, which I had already gone out and looked at. I didn't verify that it was empty, but it was the only one of my company's trailers that was out there. I looked at the trailer number. It matched the trailer number that my company gave me. I tell her this number. She's like, well, we don't have that trailer. And I said, I just went out and looked at it. She's like, show me a picture of it. Yeah, this fucking bitch, dude. She was such a bitch. So I ran out. I ran because I'm trying to make my time fucking matter. So I run out, take a picture of the trailer number, come up to the window, hold my phone up. It's right here, okay? She's like, well, are you sure it's empty? And I knew she fucking knew it was empty, but she was fucking with me because their system didn't have it input correctly. So she's just like being an asshole about it to me for some reason, like I somehow have something to do with their system being fucked. So I, again, run out there, verify that it's empty, take a picture because I know this bitch is gonna want one. I go back in, I hold it up to the window, I'm like, it's empty. And she's like, oh, it looks like there's something in it. She gets up to take a closer look at the picture because she's like trying to say that she thinks that there's something still in there. Like she's trying to create conflict. She's trying to find a reason to say no to me. And I'm like, do you enjoy friction? Like, why are you such a cunt? I don't feel bad saying that because sometimes the shoe fits. I could make another analogy, couldn't I? The shoe fits right up your ass. Anyway, yeah. So, and then the trailer was, they were doubled up in there, so I had to get a yard driver to move it, and then, so they got the yard driver to move it, and like the security guard was super rude. She wouldn't look at you. She just like saw that you pulled up and she just waved. I'm like, what is fucking with these people? Well, sometimes you deal with that. So then getting to this place that I had filmed at before, and it's in Chicago and it's tight. Actually, the yard itself isn't that bad, but getting here, the neighborhood around here is gnarly. And of course, because I got delayed at the last place, I ended up competing with school and work traffic. And knew this was going to be an issue. I've been up since a little after 4 and it's now 8, and I was like wanting to get to this place by like 6:30 a.m. That was my original plan, and I could have made it if there had been a trailer on our yard, but instead the usual fucking wild goose chase looking for a trailer. It's like the story of my life. I am fucking sick to death of it. And because I am in this situation, whether I like it or not, sitting in traffic on 55 North in Chicago, just not getting paid, not making mileage pay, just sitting there. What alternative do I have but to just take deep breaths and stay calm, because this is the bullshit that truckers deal with all the time, all of us. It's fucked, dude. It's stressful. The rest of the day is gonna be better. Yo, it's the end of a 13-hour day. I am at this new Quick Trip in Wisconsin, kind of close to the Illinois border. I can't remember what town I'm in, a little bit south of Milwaukee, but it's right by the Mars Cheese Castle, if that's helpful. It's brand new, it's beautiful, so clean, so nice, huge. The only thing that's fucking really weird is there's this huge ass parking lot, and for some reason there are just a shit ton of bobtails parked willy-nilly all over the place. And I assume that there's an area that's specifically for bobtails, but it's really annoying and it made it harder to park. I was kind of surprised because I thought, oh, there's going to be like a million giant glorious parking spaces. There weren't. Also, one thing that's nice is this lot is very well lit. That's one thing I really don't love at a lot of truck stops, is how a lot of times they can be kind of poorly lit. I usually park kind of far from the entrance, partly because I think a lot of other drivers beat me to the truck stops, so I get there later and there aren't as many closed spaces, but I also want to park farther away so I can get some exercise. So anyway, I went in and did my skincare routine for the end of the day, and I got some candy. I shouldn't be buying a bunch of candy, but I have a stash in the truck at all times. I don't eat too much of it, but sometimes I like to have a couple little handfuls of something, you know? My favorite being the elusive but delicious Haribo berries. Love those. Love Haribo candy in general. Don't love that. Howdy, greetings from Wisconsin, and I'm at a rest area that has like what they call a scenic overlook, so I came over here to see, but then the view is of all these like electrical thingamathings. I'm really having a hard time with fatigue today. I tried drinking extra coffee. I had a delicious chai on top of that, so I have had all the caffeines, but for some reason it's just not working today. And so I just pulled off at this rest area. I have about another, I think 90 miles or so, a little less than that, to go to get to my fuel stop, which is pretty close to my delivery. And my delivery is at a retail spot that I've been to a few times now at this job. And it's going to be a bitch to get in there a lot, because it's one of those ones where you unfortunately have to drive through the car part of the lot in order to get to their loading or unloading area. But thankfully, because I have experience delivering to retail environments, I kind of know how to handle it. So it doesn't make me as nervous as it would have in the past. And it's right next door to a Walmart, and I need some supplies, so I'm going to run over there while I do that. But anyway, my solution for fatigue is like, it's tempting to pull over and get in the sleeper and like lay down for 10 minutes. And that's not a bad idea either. That to me is great for like the mental fatigue, the fatigue from like staring at the road. Your eyes get really tired. But I also think it's a really good thing to get your heart rate up. That helps me a lot. So I'm just going to jog around this lot a couple of times and maybe do some push-ups and stuff, just a little bit to get some blood flow to my muscles and just to wake up my brain a little bit. And I think I'll feel a lot better when I get back on the road. But it is a beautiful day, though. It is a very unseasonably warm day. And except for the fatigue I'm feeling, I'm enjoying myself. I am at a shipper. I feel inclined to say who it is this time. I'm always on the fence about whether I should say that. I'm at a Bush Brothers, like Bush's Baked Beans facility, and I have to say it is the cleanest shipper I have ever been to. Like, immaculate. The bathroom was the cleanest bathroom I've been in a minute. And I am thankful. I just wanted to say that. So, yeah, get some Bush's Baked Beans and have security that their facility is extremely clean, as it should be, you know, since they're doing food. Because I'll tell you what, I went to a Walmart DC recently and I was appalled at how disgusting the driver area and bathroom was. And I know you can just blame that on drivers, obviously, but it has a lot to do, to me, with like the way the facility thinks of itself and like their sort of mentality about cleanliness and customers. To me, it matters. Anyway, I'm kind of a clean freak. I'm really tired. I'm having a hard time this week in general with fatigue. I talked about it in my last video where I did a little exercise at a stop. It's partly, I think, this rainy weather, and I'm having a lot more pain issues too because of that. So I'm just like, when I feel really tired, sometimes rubbing my head makes me feel better. I'm making a delicious chai right now, and I'm gonna probably lay down for a few minutes while they unload me, and it feels like they haven't started yet, so hopefully it won't be too long. But I'm actually really glad that it wasn't just a drop and hook and that I have a reason to take a break, because I'm just very tired. There goes the APU thing. I have to start the truck and let it run while I nuke this water. So, by the way, I'm making a chai, and I wanted to like share with you how I do that. I use the Tazo chai bags, which are actually pretty good, and I use 2 of them. And this is my big double-walled coffee cup. I just nuked up some water for about 5 minutes to get it decently hot. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. I decided this time, I don't always do this, but I got this mushroom blend, not those kind of mushrooms, and this has some chai in it too, I guess, but it's Om Mushroom Morning Energy Blend, and it doesn't have any caffeine in it. It has chai, carob powder, sea salt, organic mycelated oats, and then it's got like different types of mushrooms like turkey tail, king trumpet, chaga, lion's mane, a bunch of good mushrooms that are supposed to be really good for like cognitive function and hopefully help me wake the fuck up. I got these, they sell these in packet form at Whole Foods, and the bigger container is really expensive, but if you break it down per cup, it's not that expensive, especially if you're like me, used to blowing money at fucking Starbucks and stuff like that. So I'm adding this powder today, which I imagine will give it a nice little bit of earthiness. And then I have my own blend of spices that I keep with me in my truck. This is going to go in that essentials video that I keep talking about. But I make a morning drink every day, which I've shared before, and I'll share again, because I swear, if my channel ever takes off, I'm going to hit up a beverage company to like try to produce this as a trucker's friend morning drink, because it totally makes my stomach feel good before I start my day. It's got like apple cider vinegar and turmeric and all kinds of stuff in it, but this is also what I put in it. So I'm gonna put a few cranks of black pepper, which is, I think, good for your gut, and it also helps with absorption of turmeric, so they like work together. That's one really cool thing about spices. Then just a little hit of cayenne, not too much. I don't like it when it's like hella spicy in my esophagus. It's not awesome. And then I'm just gonna throw like a little extra cinnamon in there. Cinnamon has a myriad of health benefits. I think it's good for blood sugar. I shouldn't say all that stuff without backing it up, but anywho. And then I have my jar of turmeric. I also have some extra turmeric with me. I go through a good amount of it, and I buy it. I've talked about going to Cermak in Chicago. If you have any kind of an ethnic grocery store near you, Asian or Indian, or if you're lucky like me and you have a base in Chicago or a city like that has like a variety of ethnic grocery stores, those are really good places to get spices in a way that is much more affordable than if you go to like, I would never buy my turmeric at like a Whole Foods, or like I don't buy the like regular American brand, because then they hose you. I keep my little thing of kosher salt, and I'm just going to do a pinch of salt because it really helps to bring out the other flavors overall. Just a pinch. It's not salty. And then I just bought this raw honey in a jar, and I love it. It's so good, and it's cheaper than the liquid form of honey, which I'm guessing is because, like, are they going to start unloading me soon or what? There's someone, guys, there's someone with a horse carriage over there. It must be an Amish dude. Cool. I wish I could go say hi to the horsies. Oh, hi guys. Huh, how about that? Amish people like beans too. That's wild. That's so neat. That's really fucking cool. That guy has a 0 carbon footprint. Good on him, man. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna use a generous dollop of honey in here because I feel like it's never quite sweet enough, and takes a good amount to get the right level of sweetness. I don't even like it super sweet, but it takes a decent amount. So and then I nuked up this water. I'm gonna pour it in. I got it till it's like almost boiling, and I already put some what the fuck is that, oat, it's like oat based creamer and a little bit of regular creamer in there just because I didn't have enough of the oat stuff. And then I make the water intentionally too hot. It's like boiling hot, because that way it'll be the right temperature to brew the tea when I mix it with the cold oat milk creamer and regular creamer. And now there's gonna be a really fucking annoying noise. You ready? Oh, I guess it's not that annoying. It smells so good already. The turmeric might be an ingredient that people wouldn't expect to be like, let's add a bunch of turmeric to the chai. But it gives it this warm, that with cinnamon, they're like warming spices. Cayenne, all that. They're good for you, and they're very satisfying. And they make you feel good on a cold day when the pressure is probably up right now, and that's probably partly why I'm feeling ouchy. And then I'm gonna ruin it all by eating the rest of this cinnamon roll. I got a Cinnabon. They sell them at some truck stops, as some of you truck drivers probably know. And shit, I hope this is gonna be hot enough, because tea does not taste good if you don't brew it at the right temperature. They have Cinnabons, and I'm always like, if I ate a whole Cinnabon and then got back on the road, I would have to pull over because I would need to fucking nap. So I eat like a quarter of it at a time, you know, which is bad enough, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, this chai is going to be super tasty. I'm stoked. I should show it to you so you can see what it looks like. So you can kind of see what it looks like with the blend of spices in it and stuff. There's my little workstation on top of my fridge there. Yum. Good evening. It is the end of the week, and I just arrived a little bit ago back at the terminal for my company, and it's been a really frustrating week, and I just wanted to share. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It hasn't been a frustrating week all around. The end of the week became really frustrating, and here's why. So I knew I needed to be home on Saturday this week, and this kind of whole thing sort of speaks to why I'm one reason why I'm getting away from being on a national or from a, holy crap, I'm having a hard time because it's been a super long day and I'm really exhausted. This kind of speaks to why I want to go on a national over-the-road account and not have a home base anymore, because being in a situation where you're 5 days on and 2 days off and you're trying to get home it's next to impossible. If you want to get home for something specific that is time-based, time sensitive, don't even think about it. When I say these kinds of things, talk about this subject, I feel like an idiot, because I'm sure there's people watching that are like, what did you think it was going to be like? So I am a newer truck driver. I've been driving for a little bit less than a year. Well, more than a little bit, I guess. I started driving officially in March, but I got my CDL last December. So I started CDL school in October last year. So it's been about a year since I started learning how to drive trucks, let's say. But it's been a real education being a company driver, and it's pretty much all the same stuff I've been hearing from my dad for years, things that you would expect. It is a whole bunch of bullshit, really, and the money is not great, and it's paying your dues. And it's almost like I've tried to sort of turn my thinking to thinking of it as paid education, because if you want to do truck driving for a while and you want to get to a point where maybe you can make some money doing it, you're not going to want to be a company driver for very long, is, you know, what I basically have learned from it, and kind of already knew but had an idea about, I guess. Anyway, what happened this week was I have to tie up all these loose ends at home because I'm going to be moving. So I need to get a post office box, which is something you need to do on a Saturday because the post office isn't open on Sundays. And I need to get rid of my car, which is a lease, and get something less expensive that'll have lower insurance costs because it's going to be sitting in a secured, locked lot that is surveilled by camera. So I don't need to pay as much money as I'm paying for car insurance for a car that normally would be parked in Chicago regularly. I already should have changed my car insurance policy. So these are things that I need to really be home to take care of, especially getting my car switched out to a different car. And I told them I need to be home on Saturday this week. Like, I know this is a hassle for you guys, but I told them on Tuesday, I really got to be home because I have an appointment to test drive a car and to have my car appraised. Okay, no problem. So I'm already looking and seeing where they're sending me based on where I was last night. And I'm like, this is going to be real tight. I knew it was going to be real tight. But what I wasn't accounting for, and I should have been accounting for, is that I started off my day in Wisconsin. I got up a little bit before 4, which is pretty much my routine these days. I had to go to bumfuck Indiana, and the place I had to go to is off Route 30. So if you're already a driver and you're familiar with that, you know you don't want to have to drive on Route 30 if you're in a time-sensitive situation, because there's a lot of small towns you're going to go through. There's going as low as 25 miles per hour, but a lot of stretches you're going to be doing like 45. And I was like, fuck, there was no way to avoid it because of the destination I was heading to, which also was not a great place to have to go. The attitude of the people there is sucky. It just made it take a little bit longer, but overall that wasn't too bad. You deal with fucking crotchety shippers all the time, or, you know, companies, so it's like, whatever, I don't fucking care. That wasn't even my headache today. My headache was when I saw that my company added 2 stops on the way back from there, when I already knew I was barely going to make it back within my 11 hours of drive time today. I made it back with an hour to spare, but if they had me take those stops, there's no way I would have made it back. And also, this is coming into an area in Indiana where I was going to definitely hit traffic, and I did. It wasn't horrible today, though. It was a little bit gnarly, but it was better than it has been because some of the construction, fortunately, has been wrapping up. So they had those loads on me, so I called my dispatcher several hours before I got to that stop that was in bumfuck Indiana, and I was like, hey, I need something changed. And I was fucking very terse with her. I was like, I talked to you on Tuesday about this because I have to get home tonight, and it's going to be hard enough as it is, but if I have stops, it's going to be impossible. She's like, okay, I got you. No, she don't got me, because what happened then is they took those 2 stops off, and instead they gave me a relay load. Well, one of the last times I had a relay load, the driver that was supposed to be dropping off the trailer that I would be picking up wasn't even going to be there for like so many hours that it was after my clock ended. So I was like, I know how a relay load can turn out. Then it turns out the person who told me it was a relay was straight up bullshitting me, probably just to get me off the phone, and it was actually a live load. So there is no fucking way I would have been on time. I could have been within a couple of minutes of making it, but you don't want to be running your clock down like that. So I called them back and I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't. I have to get back. And I was really insistent about it, and they had to cancel the load. And I don't ever want to be like declining loads because that doesn't look good. It doesn't bode well. But I had to do it. I had to do it because I really need to take care of these things. So I don't know if there will be any fallout on Monday. I kind of doubt it. It's like you fucking fall through the cracks at a company like this, at a mega carrier. So anyway, you know, I'm not saying all this to be like, woe is me, because it's like this. I'm just saying this is like the shit that you deal with when you're a company driver, and it's super frustrating. You know that I'm dealing with a dispatcher who fucking calls me these goddamn pet names. Don't call me honey and then bullshit me. Like, I don't even need the pet name. Keep that shit to yourself. Don't placate me. Don't try to butter me up. Just fucking let's have a straightforward conversation. You tell me I'm going to do the best I can to make this work for you. Talk to me like I'm a fucking adult, not like I'm your cute little child. Fuck that shit. I hate that so much. That shit really rubs me the wrong way because it's so transparent. You know, it's like, don't do that. It's really fucking condescending. But hold my tongue because I'm like, you know what? You got to go along to get along or get along to go along. I don't know. I'm using that expression the right way. But yeah, and it's like, I feel like the situation, which is probably kind of the way it is you have the dispatchers and you have the planners, and the fleet managers are there to like, they don't help you with anything. Like, I would never ask them for help with like, you know, trying to find a place to stop or whatever. They're not helpful. None of these people have driven trucks before, which is problem number fucking one. But then they're interacting with the planners. So it's almost like they're just a go-between, and their job is like to fucking placate you or something. I don't even know. All I know is it's bullshit. It's not great. It never is working in your favor. They're just trying to move the loads. And if you need something, you have to be a fucking pest about it, and you have to be really aggressive. And I don't want to be that way, because I respect the fact that different people have different responsibilities that they're trying to live up to. It's not their fault. It's the system. It's the system in the industry that just eat people. This job is, I'm exhausted. I need to get off this thing, but I'm at my terminal because I'm airdropping video here, because I don't have, even though I pay for internet at home, it doesn't work. I can't use it at home. So another major reason why I'm moving out of that apartment. There's all kinds of stuff, but anyway, that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it doesn't seem too annoying to listen to a rant, but I just want people to know what it's like on the ground. It's not the most fun thing at all. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will catch you on the next one.